You know what? I'm not comfortable having these type of religious conversations at all.
Why not? You're a Christian.
And I love the Lord, but I won't be demeaned in any type of way.
When times get tough, you need to get proud. No need to look backward, put your feet on the ground. Stand up, stand up.
Welcome to the Father State. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. The Father State is on Patreon, so click on the Patreon link and support our work. Thank you so much in advance. I do appreciate it. Today I have with me Jay Lamar, and Jay Lamar is a certified executive matchmaker and dating coach with his company, We Find Him. Welcome, Jay Lamar.
Thank you for having me.
I
Thank you so
appreciate you
much.
coming, man.
Thank you for having me.
So, what is a certified executive matchmaker?
Well, I had to take some courses to become a certified matchmaker, but the title matchmaker just wasn't enough for me. So I threw executive in front of it because not only am I a matchmaker, but I am also the CEO of my company, We Find Him. So executive matchmaker just has a better ring to it. And then also, you know, a lot of the people that we match in the beginning stages of our business were like executives. So it was only fitting that I just become an executive myself.
And so you went to school to learn to be a matchmaker?
So it was like a 3-month program, online program that I had to take to become a certified matchmaker, yeah.
And so what do they tell you to look for when you're taking a class? What do they tell you to look for in order to put people together?
So you know what, they talk a lot about matrix, like the different matrix that you can use to match people. So one of them being like personality tests, a lot of them being like certain questions to ask, body language and stuff like that when you interview people, and they talk about the things that they're looking for in a partner.
That's amazing. And your company is called We Find Him.
Yep, We Find Him.
Is that an abbreviation for something?
Well, HIM stands for Honest, Intelligent Men.
Oh, okay.
So we find honest, intelligent men to match you with.
Oh, okay. Amazing. So what made you decide to be a match maker and a dating coach?
Yeah.
You teach people how to date?
And then I match them.
What are the key 3 keys to successful dating?
Communication, honesty, and patience. I feel like right now in the dating world, everybody wants to date and they want to be in a relationship so fast that they forget that you have to take your time and really get to know somebody to see if that person is really who you want them to be, and also see if you're a match for that person. I feel like we're in that microwave generation to where a lot of people want things quick, fast, and easy. It's because we're used to getting things quick, fast, and easy.
What does a common person look for in another person? The average person look for in another person?
I think nowadays it's more so about finances. A lot of people, you know, a lot of my clients, when at the intro conversations, I ask them what they're looking for. A lot of them say somebody that's financially stable.
Oh, I see. They're looking for finance. Interesting.
Somebody that's financially stable, yeah.
So before I get all into, are you a Christian?
Yes, I am. I love the Lord.
You're a Christian?
Yes.
And what does it mean to be a Christian?
To me, it just means to love God and love God's people and love all people.
You love all people? And why?
Because I mean, in the Bible, it speaks about love, and I am personally one of those people that love all people. I'm far from judgmental. You know, I don't want to be judged until it's Judgment Day, and so I love all people.
And how long have you been a Christian?
My walk with Christ started when I was 12 years old.
Really?
I've always been in
so
church.
young?
Yeah, well, I've always been in church, but I grew up in a church. But my mom always said, you know, I'll take you guys to church, but you're gonna have to find Christ for yourself. And so I remember at 12 years old, you know, going through a lot of different situations in school with being bullied and stuff like that. I would wonder, like at night, my mom would say your prayers and tell God what you want. And at 12 years old, you know, I seen him start to answer some of the prayers that I asked him. And then I got baptized at 12, so.
Amazing. And were you raised by your father and mother?
Yeah. My father left us when we were about like 11 or 12.
What was it like for you when he left?
It was a void in the household because my dad was like such a good dad.
Yeah.
And, you know, addiction is one crazy situation. So, you know, after years of battling addiction, you know, it kind of took him over for a little while. And, you know, I lost my father in November.
He expired?
Yeah.
Oh, he did?
This past November. And, you know, I always said, even, you know, on his deathbed, I just said, I wish we had more time. I wish we could make up for the time that lost.
Yeah. So once he left, you felt that void?
I felt that void when he left when I was 11 or 12, yeah.
Right. And did you hook up with him later? Did you get to know each other later?
Well, you know, he was always like in and out. He would come around for like a month or two, and then we wouldn't see him for like 6 months, and he would come back around. So we never lost like complete contact with our dad. It was just he wasn't like a permanent figure in our day-to-day lives like he was growing up.
And were you able, when he would come around, were you able to talk to him about your issues? He could help you deal with them? The bullying and all that you're going through?
No.
You were not able to, and why not when he was around?
You know what? I think that we just more so focused on like the moment, what was going on in the moment, where he was taking us as kids in that moment, you know, whether it was, he loved the racetrack. So if he took us to the racetrack, you know, we were just enjoying that moment with him at the racetrack. Not really getting too deep.
Not dealing with your issues and things like that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Do you wish you had done that now?
I do, but I know my dad was a protector. So, you know, his first response would have been like, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to fix it?
That was good. So when you became a Christian at 11, you say 11, right?
12 was when I
12.
got baptized.
And so becoming a Christian, did it fulfill the void that you had for your father?
In some regards, I felt like the emotional aspects and my spiritual aspects like kind of aligned, and you know, I found myself in the moments where I was with my dad, I would just pray about it a lot, and we were extremely blessed. Like my mom is absolutely phenomenal, so we never like wanted or anything, or like I never felt a physical void of him not being there. It's just that I just wanted my dad there. My mom did a great job of like stepping in and allowing us to not miss out on certain things. But, you know, we were, you know, 11 or 12, so we kind of had already had our dad in our lives. So we missed him, but my mom did a good job of just making sure that, you know, we were okay.
When your mother were at times when your mother would impose her will on you or not be patient with you as a kid, how did you deal with that?
I don't know. My mom was very patient. She had cancer, so she was like full of emotion. So she was like very patient.
You never got angry or anything?
Oh yeah, I mean, she raised 4 boys. So of course we breaking stuff around the house. My mom was crazy because she had white furniture and she had 4 boys. So, and then she had crystals everywhere. So we would break stuff all the time. But I mean, of course, like any other parent, you know, we got fussed at, you know, for not taking out the trash, and my mom was really big on building her boys to be men and work ethic. You know, we lived on like a half acre of land. So, you know, when she came home at 2:30, you know, we better have been outside cleaning up the yard or making sure the house was clean.
Amazing. So you have 4, your father, your mother had all boys?
All boys.
Real men made boys first, huh? Amazing.
All boys, yeah.
Good, man. So are you married and have children, or how's that going?
Not yet. I'm single, and which is always interesting. People say, how's the matchmaker single? In my 20s, I was engaged twice. So I know what it feels like to be in a committed partnership. I just haven't made it down the aisle yet, but it's coming in due time.
And why did you marry one of those times?
You know what? Infidelity, just a lot of, you know, I was young and I wasn't the one that cheated. Those 2 were the ones that cheated, but it was just, I feel like I was so young, and I'm glad I didn't get married because divorce is expensive.
So the girls cheated on you?
They were guys. They were guys.
They were what?
They were guys.
You were engaged to guys? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really? And they cheated on you?
Yeah.
What was it like for you when they cheated on you?
You know, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. It was. At such a young age, I didn't understand why. I thought
When you asked
Hey, are you ready to challenge me?
one of the guys told me he knew that I loved him when I first
I'm all in.
when I realized everybody started working.
Amazing. And so do you wish to be married one day and have children?
Yeah, definitely one day, yeah. I've been so career focused for the past like 6 or 7 years that I definitely would like, you know, partnership, and I love kids, so I definitely want kids one day.
Yeah. Amazing. You from Ohio?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
Born and raised.
Yeah. When you're looking for a person,
Oh no.
what are you looking for?
Great personality. Somebody that is, knows what they want out of life and is actively pursuing what they want out of life. I love good, honest human beings. So it's very attractive to be around somebody that is good to not only me, but other people.
Right. So in your dating service, it's called For Him?
We find him.
We Find Him. So you match men up together?
I match men and women.
Men and women?
Yes.
Two women or male and female?
Whoever, everybody.
Do you get both?
Yes.
All kind of coming to you?
Oh, yes, yes. When we first launched our company, we launched in Atlanta in 2015. And when we launched in Atlanta in 2015, we had about 125 men and women that were in the room. And literally from that day, probably we matched about 20 people that night. So we've been just growing and growing. Since then.
So you matched two men, two women,
A man and a
woman. Are you surprised that men and women come to you looking for men and women, straight men and straight women?
No.
Yeah.
No.
And why you're not surprised by that?
I think because it's all about, who I am and what I represent. I represent love is love, and that no matter who you are or what you are, you deserve some form of love.
How would you define love?
Love is a feeling and an emotion that makes you feel great, and it makes you feel like you're worthy.
And so, is it a fake thing or is it real?
It's real. Love is
Why
real.
doesn't it stay with you if it's real?
As far as in a person,
Yeah.
I don't think you can control that. I feel like if it's meant to be, it will be. But just because somebody does something to you does not mean they didn't love you.
Really? So, have you ever been in love with someone?
Yeah.
And then once you got with them, it changed?
I think the emotional aspect of like being in love with them may have changed. But as far as like my love and care for them, that didn't change. And I think there's a difference that people need to understand.
So being in love is fake?
No, being in love is real.
But why did that change?
I think depending on what the person, how you guys are matched together or how the vibe can change. There may be something that person does to you to make you realize, like, I'm not in love with this person anymore, but I still care about them.
Are you surprised that straight men and women don't have a problem with your service? Because you put men together and women on women?
No, I'm not.
And why not?
I think, like I said before, it's all about your aura and who you are. I'm such a great person. I like to be a great person. That, they know that what I'm doing is honest and it's great. And, I say love is love. It's for everybody.
Are you surprised that two men would want to get married and all that kind of stuff?
No, I'm not surprised.
You're not. And why aren't you surprised at that?
Because I feel like everybody deserves love.
But for two men or two women to get married, it's not real. It's like a made up idea.
Is it?
Right.
No, I don't think that.
A real marriage is a female, right? That's the real deal.
So what is your definition of marriage? What is your definition of
between a man and a woman. And they do it under the umbrella of God, male and female, right? Everything else is like a false imitation of the real thing. As a Christian, you know that, right?
No.
You don't know that?
No, because I believe that in the Bible that I read, the New Testament that I read, love is love, and God is love. So why can't two people of the same sex love each other?
But that kind of love is not real. It's not real. It's based on sex.
It's based on like the sexual interaction.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I actually think so.
Because I mean, even for the people that I met, primarily the conversation isn't about sex. The conversation more so is about the mind, the interaction, the vibe, not necessarily a sexual interaction.
So when you think that when people get together, they're thinking about each other's mind?
I think that when you think about something long term, you can't have sex any and everywhere. So it's something additional to the relationship.
Even whenever I dated a woman, I think about her mind. I was thinking about sex.
The whole time?
We'll deal with that later.
Uh-huh.
But what drew me to her was the sex. My type of woman, I can have sex with this woman. I didn't care about her.
Really?
Really, people started caring about her.
I think they should when you think about marriage. For a commitment forever. Were you married to a woman that you thought about?
No, it was just about sex. So when I look at a woman, I think, wow, I wonder what her mind is like.
Yeah, don't you think about the empire that you can build together?
Maybe later down the road, if I want to, you know, if I didn't marry.
So you're saying the initial...
The initial thing is about sex. Isn't that true?
I don't think that is for everybody.
Really?
Yeah, I think at a certain age, that's like you have to have sex. At a certain age, that's not the first thing you think about when you meet somebody.
What's the first?
Like for some people, it is like, what can this person offer me? What can
That's when it's taking care of
even if it's beyond taking care of her, what can you build together?
when you put together women and all that, what type of clients do you what's the difference between black men getting together and white men getting together? Mm-hmm. Is there a difference between the two races, how they see things, how they think?
No, I don't think so. I think that in LA, what I find interesting though is a lot of the beautiful black women that I talk to, you know, it's very hard for them to find love from black men. I feel like a lot of black men in LA. I went to a panel discussion last year. One of the black men spoke about why it's easier for him to date a woman of a different race. And he was saying that women of different races seem to be more prone than black women. And I had this conversation with a lot of my female friends, and they're like, you know, it depends. In LA, black women have that mentality, but if you go to like a Charlotte, if you go to in Atlanta, you go to a Miami, you know, black men are more aggressive. Here, not as aggressive.
Yeah.
Women think.
Mm-hmm. What was that guy reason for dating outside of his race? Do you remember what he said?
Well, he said specifically that the women that approach him, they approach him. He doesn't approach women. So if he's in a club and he's standing there and he makes eye contact with a woman of a different ethnicity that's not black, you know, she'll walk up and approach him. Right. But if it's a black woman, it's more like you know, they're exchanging looks and nobody's really budging.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Which I find that to be very interesting.
Yeah, that is. One of the reasons that black men leave or don't date black women, especially here or big cities, is because black women are like bitches now. Yeah, and the men don't know how to deal with that because they never dealt with their mothers in the right way. And now these black women are becoming educated, and the more educated they are, the more bitch they become. And the guys just don't want to be bothered. Have you noticed that?
No, not necessarily. I feel like
You haven't noticed that they become bitches?
No, I feel like the more educated they become,
the more of a bitch they are.
No, the more value. To me, the more valuable they are in a relationship.
In what way?
They can add to the household.
Add hell, more hell.
Are you married?
No.
I see why.
I know because I noticed that women with degrees don't make for good wives and good mothers. That's what I always tell guys. Don't marry a woman with a degree. She's a bitch.
You would tell somebody that?
I tell them that all the time.
I am completely 100% appalled, and I do not agree with that one bit. Because I feel like a woman with a degree can add so much value to being a mother and being a wife. Because what can she add to the household? With that degree, she can add income. With that degree, she can add responsibility. With that degree, she can take some of those burdens off of your back and put those on her. With that degree,
I don't want her to do that often. I want her to be my wife, have my children, watch over my children when I'm out buying. I want her to be a woman, not to take anything away from me.
So wait a minute, women don't, so in your mindset, women shouldn't be educated?
Right.
What about daughters? What about?
If they plan on becoming a wife and a mother, they shouldn't be educated.
So
but if they're never going to get married, they got to take care of themselves. I have no problem with that. But in order to be a good wife and a mother, because it builds their ego, they start to feel like they are better than the male.
What year are you in? It's 2021. These women are out here being mothers, wives,
I know, that's
judges,
why they're
lawyers. No, a lot of them are married.
Yeah, but the man is a beta.
What is a beta man?
One that can't deal with a woman in the right way, his wife, or stay home and let the woman go to work, can't speak up for himself, and be an independent person, love what's right, and do the right thing.
So you think that men can't do stay-at-home fathers? Do you think that's something against that?
Any man that's a stay-at-home father is a beta male.
Really?
He's a woman.
Really?
Yeah. You're not supposed to switch roles like that. That's abnormal.
Why is it abnormal if the wife is like a Supreme Court justice and she's, you know, the household is taken care of, but she needs somebody in there helping with the children and stuff like that?
She needs to be in there. It's a God-given role for her to be there.
Really?
Being a Christian, you agree to that, right?
No, absolutely not.
And why not?
Because what about women pastors? I have several women. My aunt is one of my favorite pastors.
Don't tell it. Don't say that out loud.
Women can't be pastors? Why?
Because it's not in their nature to lead. Women were created to follow. Men were created to lead.
Wow.
Have you noticed that?
In 2021?
Yeah. Look how messed up everything. Anytime the woman takes over, the world goes to hell in a handbasket.
Look
at the children, when the father leaves at home, the kids become basketball because the mother doesn't have it. Have you noticed that?
Absolutely not. That's absolutely not. When my dad left the household, my brothers and I are very successful men and do very well for ourselves. And my mother did a great job leading us into becoming great men.
But having things doesn't make you a man.
Having what doesn't make you a man?
Things.
Absolutely not. It's the way you carry yourself.
Being successful doesn't make you a man.
It's the way you carry yourself. It's the way you handle business. It's the way you grow up with yourself. It's the energy that you give. There are several things that make you a man.
No, what makes a man is to return to the Father and become a son of God. That's what makes you a man.
That doesn't stop.
I know, but you're developing into a man, and your character is based on the principles of God and nothing else.
So you think that when you get to the gates of heaven, you think that God is going to say, you're not going to get out.
He ain't going to let you in. He won't have to take you out. He won't hook you in.
That's crazy. God, I thought he was going to let me in.
Do you hook up Christian people together?
Absolutely. Everybody. Muslims, everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
And they don't question the fact that you put two men together. What happens in a man's mind? Because you're executive masculine. What happens in a man's mind? I know that we all born in sin, so we got this mess to clean up. We get into, as a result of being born in sin, we get into pornography, we get into all kind of mess. And in the good old days, when boys were boys and men were men, there was an embarrassment in your mess. You would never promote it as good. You wouldn't tell anyone about it. You go to God and overcome it, right? What happens to men that they're taking their mess and promoting it as good? What happens to a mindset like that?
Look, what are you saying is mess?
Like when two men want to get together as a husband and a wife, and two husbands want to get together, husband and wife. Where does the shame go that these people are promoting a sin as though it's a good? Black people used to be embarrassed by that. White people used to be at one point. Where did the shame go?
They're not embarrassed anymore, you think?
Some are not, but a lot are.
So I think we
in the mindset of the male, what happened that they think it's okay to promote that?
I think that we're in a time where you just mind your own business.
Meaning what?
You focus on what makes you happy, the love that makes you happy, the things that you want to do in life, and not worry about the next person. I think that that's where we are in life. Not worrying about who or what. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care who you're laying next to at night. I don't care.
I know, but it's not necessarily about what others think about it, right? In the good old days, it used to be about what the person thought about it. They knew that they were wrong, that they had an issue, right? And they would quietly overcome that issue rather than promoting it as a good.
You know what? As long as the person is good, I think that's all that should matter.
Do you recommend to your client that they have sex before marriage?
I feel like as adults, I don't feel like nobody's trying to that's amazing. So I feel like for me, I always promote getting to know the person before you engage in any type of sexual activity. Because sex can communicate.
It will. You don't really know who you're with. Once you have sex with them, you lose the reality of who that person is.
That's a possibility. And also, I feel like it can distract you from a lot of things and you have to come out
Have you ever matched up a couple and they matched it, they dated, they got married,
So we have a couple right now that we met that's been together about 2.5 years.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
What age group you normally deal with?
Oh, wow. So from 25, my oldest client is 63.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
Based out of New York. Yeah.
yeah. What's wrong with people that they can't find their own date? You know, when I was growing up, we didn't have computers and online and all that. Getting a date was nothing. Where did they lose that? Where they can't find their own date? Where they need someone else to do it for them?
I don't think it's anything wrong with people. I think it's just a time that we're in. People are a lot more busier. There's a lot more going on. So people need a lot more help. You know, they get help. They get their groceries delivered. They get, you know, packages delivered. They don't have to go to the store. So why not make love as easy and accessible to them?
Oh, I see. So they're busy today, so they don't have time to go hang out and have fun and relax.
Yeah.
And just, you know.
Some people are just so career focused, you know, thinking about like for me, when I go to a grocery store, I'm not at the grocery store worrying about who's next to me. I'm at the grocery store like to accomplish the goal of getting groceries and going home.
Oh, yeah.
And I think a lot of people think that way. When they go somewhere, they're not consciously thinking about who's around them and who they can fall in love with.
That makes sense. Because when I was growing up, life was a little slower. So
Yeah.
you had time to. You're not like just waiting in your head trying to get it done. What are some of the nightmares that you ran into putting people together?
I think that some of the stumbling blocks that a lot of people face is like long distance dating. People thinking that they are equipped to long distance date.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, people want that person, like, you know, that person is 30 minutes away, that person not too far.
Oh, I see. Do you try to warn them in advance, hey, this person a little too far away? I would suggest you.
Yeah, so we talk about whether or not you can handle or deal with, you know, long distance dating, because it's a big responsibility.
Yeah, it is.
You know, have you dated somebody long distance?
Yeah, it's a mess.
From where? From where to where?
Here to New York.
And that
doesn't work.
Why didn't it work for y'all?
I have time. And the woman wants a lot of attention. You know how women are, right?
Yeah.
They want the world to rotate around them.
And why you didn't make the world rotate around them? Ain't that what you're supposed to do as a man? Why?
Because she was no longer my God.
Mm-hmm.
And so when women stop being your God, you can make the world rotate around you, you bring them into your world.
She wasn't the right one.
Yeah. Amazing. So tell us, what are some of the things you do to match people? What are some of the steps?
So one of the first things we do is a questionnaire, a basic consultation questionnaire to ask you exactly who you are, what are you looking for, how can we be of service. After that, and you decide to pick one of our packages, we also mix life coaching with dating coaching. So we want to figure out what's going on with you, issues with you that we can help you pan out so it can better your dating life. We don't just want to jump into the dating conversation, oh, let's match you with somebody. It's more so like, what's going on